Welcome back to KP's Kingdom, Cooking with KP. And today I'm going to try and make this UK delicacy. It comes out every Christmas time. GREGGS Festive Feast. Yes, I did a bit of research and I've tried to recreate this little takeaway morsel. First thing I've got a Spanish onion. You could use any onion, but I thought I've got a Spanish onion, let's use it. We're going to cut this up into nice little chunks. I'm going to make it really nice and fine. And I'm going to put that onion into a pot of water. There's no heat on it yet. We're going to turn the heat up and just warm that through, bring it up to a light simmer, and that will do for that. And it's just going to cook these onions off just a little bit, save having raw onion in with our stuffing. Just going to cook them off a little bit. Now, we're going to make our own breadcrumbs. This is actually a pita bread that was left over. I cut it up into squares, put it into freezer bags, froze it. We've taken it out a couple of hours ago, defrosted it, put it into our little food processor, and we're going to make our own unique breadcrumb. Not just using the old style bread version. The pita bread is a little bit, Turkish bread is a little bit thicker, a little bit more robust in texture, and it works out absolutely perfectly for this recipe. So do that in a couple of batches. It will give your machine a little bit of a hard time, so put that straight into a bowl just like I've done right there. Okay, let's get on to our next step. And simply cook those onions off, probably about 10, maybe 15 minutes maximum. Go through the breadcrumbs. If the machine has missed a couple, maybe just break those up by hand, but it doesn't really matter. We're going to strain those onions off like that, and we're going to keep that liquid. We want to keep that onion liquid. So we're just going to strain those onions off, let them cool just briefly, maybe 5-6 minutes or so. Don't want it too hot when it goes in. I'm going to put that water to the side, put the onion straight in top of the breadcrumb, just like that. Make sure we get every bit we possibly can out of it. Give that a bit of a stir, get those flavours to start happening and getting to know each other. Right, pretty easy so far, isn't it? I've got some beef bouillon powder. I'm going to put in maybe 2, maybe 3 teaspoons of that on top. It's going to give it a real nice, robust, beefy type flavour, along with the onion water that we're just going to put in. And we just want to make this not a very wet mix, just a very good damp mix where it's going to sort of hold together a little bit. I'm going to start adding in some flavourings. I'm going to add some powdered sage, right, or sage powder. That can go straight in. You can use fresh if you want, and if you can get hold of it. Things are a little bit light on around town at the moment. Some black pepper, freshly ground, of course, with my new electric pepper grinder, which is already broken by the way. And now I've got some chicken breast. Right, now I'm just going to cut this up into nice little chunks. Cut it just across the grain all the way through, just like I'm doing there. You could use turkey breast if you can find it. This time of year a little bit more difficult, being Christmas and everyone goes nuts for turkey. Chicken breast is what they use in the GREGGS recipe, so that's what I'm using right here. I'm trying to make this as authentic as I possibly can. So I'm just going to cut those up into nice little tiny chunks, and I've already started seasoning. I forgot to put the camera on, but quite simply I'll bring some of the ingredients out to you. We've got some of our sage, and we've got a little bit of thyme that goes in, a bit of more black pepper straight into our mix as well. And let's keep getting on with the rest of the ingredients. I hate it when I forget to push record on the camera. I get too far ahead of myself. Bit of mustard, you can use a mustard of your choice. I'm just using a Dijon right there. That goes in. And this is the important bit, using a cranberry sauce. This has got whole cranberries in it. As you can see, it's more like a jam at the moment. Once you heat that up, it will become more viscous. It will become a little bit more of a liquid, and that's going to add an amazing flavour to that chicken breast. Okay, we're also going to get some bacon. I'm using a really good smoky bacon that I buy. I buy this in bulk and freeze it. There is nothing wrong with freezing bacon at all. It just it's on tap, doesn't take long to defrost at all, and you can always use it. Right, some puff pastry, store-bought, of course. I'm not going to make my own, there's too much work in that. And we're going to start making these little fillings. Now I have latticed the top. I forgot to push record once again. At least I admit my mistakes, but I will show you after this little clip how to make the lattice. Lay down your stuffing, just like that. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to get our chicken and cranberry mixture and start adding that on top. Don't overfill them, leave a little bit of room so we can actually crimp the edges down. The ones from GREGGS might be a little bit bigger, but I'm trying to maximize the use of pastry that I have, so I'm just cutting it in half, and then we'll make these little morsels up. A bit of bacon on top, and that's just going to cook out while the pastry is cooking. Same with the chicken, that's going to cook out quite easily. Fold it over our pastry like that, and I'm leaving the plastic on at the moment. We're not going to cook with the pastry. We're just going to crimp that down very, very basically, very simply, and we'll get into a more complicated crimping a little bit later on. Okay, so just make sure we cover all of that, and you can see those little cuts that I've made in the pastry, which I'm about to show you in a minute. They start to open up, and it's going to let all the steam come out and give it a really nice effect. Alright, last thing I'm going to do is just give that a little bit of a fold over on the edges. Not a lot, just a little bit. Just to make sure all the meat is going to stay in there and this thing is not going to explode all over my oven. Okay, get the fork, I'm going to use the back of the fork and just press down on that little turn that we made and just crimp that all together. Make sure it's a real good solid seal, and these actually do work out absolutely beautifully. I was really surprised by the flavour of these as well. The cranberry and the stuffing just, and the chicken just works. Right, this is how you make the lattice. Get yourself a steel metal rule, make sure it is clean, you haven't got it out of the workshop, and we're just going to put two little slots, one at the top, one at the bottom. We're going to move over and give one in the centre. Right, one at the top, one at the bottom, move our ruler over, and one in the centre. And you can make these as big or small as you like. I've tried to make them nice and even, sort of even thirds, a little bit of an overlap maybe. And we only want to go halfway along that. Then all we do is repeat once again. Lay our stuffing down, lay our chicken down, bacon, take the paper off, give it a little bit of a turn on the edges, and once again we'll crimp that properly with the back of the fork, and we're just going to keep going until either we've run out of pastry or we've run out of chicken. I made an egg wash here. That's just an egg beaten up with a little bit of water in it. You can use milk if you want to, doesn't really matter. Just give each one of these little pastries a brush with that beaten egg, and it's going to give it a really nice sheen and a real nice golden colour. Your oven should be sitting at 180 degrees Celsius. Okay, now the description says a crusty top, and I did not know what to use for a crusty top apart from breadcrumbs. That's boring. I'm using some shaved pecorino, also grated pecorino cheese, and it just makes it a real nice rounded flavour at the end. Gives it a little bit more golden colour while it bakes as well. And I use the pecorino because it's a little bit sharper, a little bit different, a little bit funkier. Okay, you could use parmesan if you want to. Right, 180 degrees. We're going to whack those in the oven around about 25-30 minutes or so. Make sure internal temperatures are at least 74 degrees centigrade. Use a thermometer just to make sure, and all we have to do now is plate up. Right, how easy is this dish to make? And look, people in the UK are probably paying big bucks. I saw this on a episode of Beard Meets Food, and that was only him eating it. I had to go and investigate everything else I could via the website, and there wasn't a lot to go on, but I think I succeeded quite nicely. Love to see you try and make this one at home just in time for Christmas Day. Be perfect for Christmas Day actually, especially if it's going to be a cool one. Thank you so much for watching this video, really do appreciate it. If you like this video, hit that like button, it gives me confidence, it should make you feel warm and fuzzy too. Please share this video with all your friends on all platforms of social media. We're trying to get the name of KP's Kingdom out there, and also people might want to cook this for Christmas Day or just cook it anytime at all. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, you'll be notified every time a new video goes up. But if you want to learn how to create something that I've only just seen on TV and done a little bit of investigation on, and recreated it, well, you need to come and join the family, my family. Hit that subscribe button and you'll never miss another one of my videos again. From KP's Kingdom to you, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I will catch you next time. Bye!